Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Trevino here, and we have two wonderful guests from beautiful Houston, Texas. We have Tiy and Terrell. How y'all doing today?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. I know that we connected a while back, and I'm really excited to hear about crypto, about real estate, and kind of how both of those worlds can really collide.
Yes, I'm
Absolutely.
glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of us who aren't too familiar with you, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure.
I'm
Ladies first.
I'm Tiy Jones. I'm a real estate agent here in Houston, Texas. I've gotten into crypto the past 3 years. Terrell is my mentor, Mr. Bilbo's neighborhood. And so he's been teaching me a lot. And so I've been able to share, my knowledge with others as well. So super excited to show how it relates to real estate and the world in general.
Awesome. I'm Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant. First career was real estate. I started off as a mortgage broker, ran a mortgage company for about 5 or 6 years. I've done everything in real estate from flipping to construction. In early 2017 is when I got into cryptocurrency. I got certified in blockchain technology, digital currency, Ethereum and Ethereum smart contracts. And now currently I teach. I'm an instructor for a platform that gives education. So I'm everything crypto, everything you want to know. I mean, I understand it's the future and it's here to stay. So I'm here to educate as many people as I can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it comes at an interesting time that, you'd mentioned how you had a previous career in real estate. And I know for me, just personally speaking, I had, when I was in elementary school, I had no idea what crypto was. So I'm curious as well, maybe about, your background, you coming up. Did you know you wanted to work in real estate or do something tech related?
For me, I went to school. I'm an engineering major. So when I first got out, that's what I did, network computers and things of that nature. So I've always been techie. And even as a kid, when things were broke in the house, they would always say, hey, ask him, he can fix it. So I've always been kind of techie around that. But I didn't really know that this is what I wanted to do. It kind of found me, so to speak.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's always interesting. It kind of sounds like it's a forever learning kind of thing, right? You're continually progressing, whether it's real estate or engineering, or I guess in this case crypto, right?
Right, right. And I mean, what I've been able to find is that, because basically when I was in real estate, I was always on the financial side. I was always on money. I was a loan officer, ran a mortgage company. So everything, and I think this is the correlation people need to make. It's money. Crypto is money. And at the end of the day, if you understand money, you understand crypto. Yeah, there's a couple of nuances to it, but it's money at the end of the day, and it's our new money. So I would suggest learning as much as you can about it if you want some of this new money that's coming around.
Yeah, no, and absolutely, Terrell. And it comes at an interesting time. At least it seems like most of our audience, they're, pretty well versed on maybe the flips, maybe the new builds, maybe the development. But, if you wouldn't mind, could you kind of give us maybe an introduction to, what crypto is and why it's important?
Sure, sure. So basically, cryptocurrency is digital. It's a digital form of money, right? It has something it's run on the blockchain. So if you think about blockchain as the internet 2.0, right? Before we had the internet, everybody www dot thought it was the mark of the beast or whatever. They didn't understand what it was. But then after time progresses, like we can't imagine our life without it, right? So think of the blockchain as the internet, and cryptocurrency are websites that run on top of the blockchain, on top of the internet. So that's basically what it is. But all it is a digital representation of money. We're doing it without even knowing. If you have Cash App, you have Venmo, you have any one of these applications, you're already in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. I'm not personally very well versed in the history of money, but I would assume that from maybe the dawn of mankind, that we were bartering, we were trading, maybe trading shells or rocks or something like that. And it's almost like we're stepping into a new era of money.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you and because I'm in it and I've had to do it, but yeah, I've studied the history of money, and every 100 years there's a new currency that comes into play. So if you really want to be technical about it, 2000 was that 100th year of our old financial system. So I believe 2021 is year one of our next financial system. So if we're looking like and that's why like most people see Bitcoin at 65, 64,000 and like, oh man, I missed it. But the truth of the matter is, if you really understand how early you are, you should really get excited about it, because I don't think we weren't around when the first financial system kicked off, but now we actually get to participate in this one, the new and improved financial system.
Yeah, absolutely, Terrell. And I'm curious as well. Is it a lot of people, at least in our audience, they're familiar with real estate. But what's great about real estate, you can see it, you can touch it. It's down the street from your house. You know where it is. Whereas an issue maybe someone has with crypto is I can't see it. How do I know it's not being inflated or being tinkered with? What would you say to that?
Well, I understand the conditioning of what we've been taught and told, but the truth is the money that we currently have in that we hold in our pocket, it's inflated. It's not real. Like basically, the bank can basically on every $1,000 that's deposited, they can lend up to 10 times that amount, charge interest on it, and it's basically paper money. It doesn't make what makes Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, so valuable. There's only 21 million of them that will ever be minted ever, right? So just it's not like the US dollar where we can print 1.7 trillion dollars of money and basically print into infinity. There's a finite amount of this, so that reserves that value is deflationary, right? So that's one of the things that I would look at it, because I hear that argument all the time, like what is it backed by? Well, the truth be told, like the money that we're currently operating with is not backed by anything. So that's one of the things. And then also, when you do get cryptocurrency, I'm not telling you don't take those gains and don't go buy things and assets that you can actually touch, feel, drive up to. But the thing about it is there's more room for growth and there's more room for expansion in this market than there is with the dollar. For the years, the dollar has been worth a dollar. 2009, crypto was worth less than a penny. You look at 13, 12 years later, it's worth 64,000. So that's kind of the difference in it's an asset that you want that's always appreciating. The dollar is always depreciating, just for the simple fact that they can print as many as they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on an interesting point there was about the money supply, right? So you were kind of suggesting that, hey, at the snap of your fingers, you could, print billions of dollars of, billions of US dollars if you wanted to. Whereas with crypto, there's only a finite amount. So I'm curious about that as well. How do we know there's a finite amount of crypto? Why wouldn't crypto, since it's technological, why wouldn't it be infinite, right?
Well, basically, it's the protocol, right? So that's also what makes crypto so great, is that it's a new and improved financial system. So all the things of the old system that were broken, double spin problem, and all these different things that basically plague us with this other system, it's easy now with technology to say I can write in a contract, in a self-executing contract, that this is the rules and we don't deviate from them. So that's what makes Bitcoin and crypto so valuable, is that they basically fixed all the problem of the old system and said this is the inflationary tool that we're going to put in, and this is the protocol. So in Bitcoin, they have an event that's called halving. Every 4 years, halving occurs, and what that is that the rewards or the amount that is put into circulation is cut in half every 4 years, and then the last Bitcoin will be mined 2140 in the year 2140. But it's programmed to do a certain thing, so it doesn't have any human interaction or any, we can't mess it up, basically. It's already programmed to be how it is, and that's what makes it so valuable, because you can't change the protocol. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Terrell. And I'm sure that can be difficult for people to wrap their minds around, because on one hand, you're saying that the protocol can't be altered, but yet on the other hand, technically, we as humans are creating the protocol, right? So it can
Right.
be kind of difficult to see that dichotomy.
Right. But the good thing about it is, so this is another thing. And I think when you look at cryptocurrency, it's decentralized. So you'll start to hear that word a lot. Decentralized meaning there is no third party. But what it also means is that us as a people, we control it. So they have what's called a consensus mechanism, right? Which means everybody has to agree on what's best for the community or what's best for our money, right? In our current system, we don't make those decisions. Like we have no input on how our money is printed, how our money is administered to people. We don't have any say so in that. But with cryptocurrency, that it's kind of a community ran type thing. And in order to even do a transaction, that transaction has to be verified by the community before it can even take place. So I think that's a great innovation that, I don't think we've ever experienced as a whole, as a community, having a say so on how our money runs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm curious as well. I mean, you're kind of talking about, we as a community can control it, right? So the first thing I think of is money, the US dollar, right? So the US dollar can really be used in, obviously the US, any of our territories, and really around the entire world, right? It's a world reserve currency. It's recognized worldwide. Whereas, with crypto, I guess it's decentralized. So, my biggest question is, you hear all these names like Bitcoin, you hear Ripple, you hear Ethereum. What's the big difference between all of these different currencies?
Well, the difference is, so if you want to look at Bitcoin is, if you want to call it, the grandfather of them all, right? So anything other than Bitcoin is considered to be an altcoin, right? So Bitcoin is more like a currency or a store of value, right? So this called Bitcoin Gold 2.0, right? But all the other coins, the alternative coins, all of those are different technologies. So it's really no different than you're investing in a technology like Ripple is for banking, right? It's for the Swift payment. So it allows you to send money cross borders within seconds. Now, if you've ever sent an international transfer, it costs about 35 to 40 bucks to do it, and it takes 3 to 5 days for people to get their money. But with Ripple, it leaves in seconds, and it costs a fraction of the cost, like less than pennies to do it. So that's the difference. So all these different coins, all these altcoins are different technologies, but they're based on the blockchain. But all these different technologies are going to move into different sectors to basically improve our lives. So you think about, like, again, banking, remittance services, right? So remittance services is huge. It makes up like a large part of GDP in most countries, right? Swiping that credit card, right? Now think about if you can invest in that technology, but invest in that technology on a global scale. That's huge for you. Most of the time, we never get that opportunity to even be a part of that. Well, with cryptocurrency, now you have the opportunity to actually be a part of that. So that's why I'm so excited about it, because like I said, I tell everybody, we missed the oil boom, the .com boom, and all these other booms. But this is a time for us to actually participate in a boom that's going to really be here for our foreseeable future. If this is year one of 100, I mean, it'll be around till the day I leave. So, good time to be around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is a really interesting time. I mean, we're seeing so many, changes in, just the global landscape, right? The way we interact with each other through social media, the way we're transacting with, maybe crypto, and, how we're communicating with each other, right? Maybe through, I guess, with Zoom or whatever it may be. And I'm curious as well, you mentioned, kind of about the community, right? About how the community would basically be in control of that. And I'm curious about how micro can you get with it? Like, for example, we live in the US, but we also live in Texas, but we also live in Houston and Austin. In theory, could Houston have their own cryptocurrency, or how micro can you get?
I mean, it's possible, because, like, so you have coins, and you have crypto, and then you also have tokens, right? And so tokens can also represent a specific ecosystem. So that token will have functionality within that ecosystem, but still that token is still able to be cashed out of that ecosystem and turned into a solid cryptocurrency like a Bitcoin or Ethereum, So those things are definitely possible. Yeah, you can have your own ecosystem with your own token where you're still using digital currency, but whenever you're ready to use that for real monetary value, or like some people are saying, like they'll let these tokens be used for whatever good and service that they're offering. So it's money within that ecosystem, but the great thing about it, you're always able to take it out and put it into a solid asset as well. So that's the beautiful part about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I know you touched on it briefly, but could you also explain, smart contracts and what they are?
Sure. Smart. Me and Ty was talking about this earlier, but smart contracts are basically I call it a trustless system, right? I don't have to trust you to do business with you, right? It's like once we make an agreement, and I'll let her touch on this too, as far as how real estate will pertain to this. But like once we make an agreement inside of this contract, when certain levels are met or certain objects are satisfied, then that contract executes itself, right? So there is no human intervention. Once we put it down and once we execute the smart contract, it's in writing, and I don't need anybody to push a lever or do anything else. It's going to do it itself. So I think that's a beautiful thing about it. And I know me and Ty were talking about how I've been telling my title company for years, hey, you're going to need to get on the blockchain. Like this is going to be an important transition for you, because now everything will be there, housed there within seconds. And it's not going to take 30 to 45 days to close a deal. It's going to be within seconds, because you'll have access to everything on the blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made a real nice transition there into, I guess, connecting this with real estate. If you wouldn't mind, could you also explain, why would a title company want to make this sort of transition? Because really, I mean, if you're thinking about the closing process, I mean, you're dealing with someone's livelihood, right? Money that they've worked hard for. It's a big purchase, whether it's a home or an investment. And frankly, it can seem very scary to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars wired or exchanged within seconds, right?
Right. Well, I mean, the truth be told, it's happening anyway. Like that's I think, because it's an unknown or it's new, I think people are more frightful or more fearful of it. But the truth of the matter is when I call my bank and say, hey, I'm at the title company, the bank is I'm gonna email you the wiring instructions to fund my deal. The same thing is happening, right? It's the same exact thing that is happening. That title, that money still has to go in escrow. You still haven't have an attorney present. So it's the same process, really. But I think because it's crypto and people are unfamiliar with it, they think it's something different. But the truth of it is, when you open up that app and look at your bank account, you're looking at a ledger. You're looking at numbers. That's cryptocurrency. Like all of that is crypto. Like whether we understand it or not, that's all crypto. So the same process will take place. It'll just be, in my opinion, it's more secure, because I'm sure you're in real estate. I'm sure Ty has had some of these events, myself included, where you get to the table and the person bought a couch a week earlier, so now we can't close, or the money wasn't seasoned, or whatever the case is. Like these things pop up. But with the blockchain and having everything housed there, you won't have any of those things. Like everything, like before, they'll do a system check or a deal check like a day or so before the deal, or right before the deal happens, and everything will be housed, check, everything's there, we're good to go. And like I was saying, for a title company, and to answer your question, the reason I say that, and the reason I've been telling my title company that, is because if you don't start to provide these services, you will become obsolete. And that's just the truth of it. Look, go to Walmart at any time of the day. Most of the lines are the machines. It's probably only 2 tellers there, right? Same thing will happen with all industries. All industries will be on the blockchain at some point in time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if this is a fair example, but you think of cameras and taking pictures, right? Maybe something like using a Kodak, right? They had you ever hear the phrase, it's a Kodak moment, right?
Right.
And I mean, we have our own cameras in our pockets now. They're called iPhones.
Right. So you seen it with Blockbuster? Like every like, think about it. Taxis gone, Blockbuster gone. Barnes and Nobles. Guess what that is? That's Amazon. Like it's like we're seeing example after example after example, and people just say, and we just kind of adapt to it. And I feel the same thing will happen with cryptocurrency. Like we'll at some point, it'll be like I couldn't imagine myself without using maps or Google, like telling me where I used to go, where I need to go, or whatever, MapQuest. But remember back, well, I don't know, I don't want to age myself, but we literally had to look it up and then write the directions down on a piece of paper to figure out where we were going.
Yeah.
Now, I even if I know where I'm going, I still put it in my GPS. So it's a natural progression. But my thing is like whenever it becomes mainstream, I want people to understand the opportunity that's in front of them. Because whenever it comes mainstream, then you become a consumer of it, just like we're consumers of everything else. But right now, before it becomes mainstream, now everybody has an opportunity to actually participate in the fund instead of just waiting until it's already built, it's already established, and then now I got to go try to buy Bitcoin. It's at $300,000 now. Like we don't want to be in that position. So that's why I'm ringing the alarm. Like, pay attention, please. This thing is here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it almost kind of, I mean, obviously I wasn't around in the early 1900s, but it almost kind of feels like, the first ones who struck gold, maybe you're at Spindletop and you say, hey, there's a lot of oil here. We should probably start, right?
Right. People are striking it rich. I mean, it's happening every day. I mean, you just think about Bitcoin in 2009 being 0.003, less than a penny, and in less than 12 years, going from less than a penny to 64,000. I mean, and that's not. And I tell people that's not me saying it. That's not anything. Like, look at the evidence, like documentation, all day long. Like that happened. And you have to pay attention to that, because if you look at what was the dollar worth in 2009, worth $1. It was worth $1. But Bitcoin went from less than a penny to $64,000 in 12 years. That's amazing. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's amazing. So I just say don't miss this wave, because it's here. They're not gonna ask your permission about it. They're not gonna say, hey, do you guys want to be in crypto? They're not gonna say any of that. It's gonna be like, hey, do you have your wallet? And if you have $1,000 in the bank account, well, we're gonna do a 2-for-1. We need 2 of your US dollars for one of these coins, and that's what's gonna happen. So automatically, you already have less. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm curious as well, more so, obviously Tiy is a believer in crypto, and I'm curious, how did y'all link up about crypto? Because I know, Terrell, you were in real estate, obviously the engineering background turned crypto, but how did y'all first connect about crypto?
I'll let her tell it.
Well, we first met, actually we're together. That's my spouse. So he is on the technical side and all of that, and I'm not. So he teaches me all of this. So I've been able to learn from listening to his calls, listening to his meeting. And then he showed me how to get my wallet, which I thought it was hard at first. But as I kept doing it, I got familiar with it, because there's steps to take when you're getting a wallet and you're signing up to, be able to get your Visa card so you can transfer that crypto into fiat if you want to. So it was just different things that I've been learning, and so excited to, share it with everyone. But yeah, that's how we met, because we're together and this is his field. So he's been in this field for a long time, and so he's teaching me everything. So that's how I know most of the things I know about crypto.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a great story. And I'm curious as well, it kind of seems like it's human nature that we're hesitant to things that are new, right? So I know I can be that way sometimes, but I'm curious, from day one, when Terrell told you about this, did were you on board with the crypto from day one, or did it kind of take you a while, or what did you think of it from the beginning?
So for me, I heard about crypto back in 2014. I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what it is, like everybody else. And then, it keeps coming back. So I'm like, okay, well, let me get into this. So I started getting into it, and then I started seeing the value. And then, as he's into it, I'm seeing more and more. So as the years progress, we're in this crypto space. I'm learning how to seek out altcoins that are, not just, propaganda. They actually have technology, how to look for a coin and how to know like what the highest, high is that it's been. And so just knowing these different things about how to look for a coin versus me just going and getting a coin because everybody else is in the coin. That's not what you want to do. You want to know what technology is behind that coin and what is the potential that you can make with this coin and how to get it out and how to use it. So that's very important to know. So just not following the trend.
Yeah, no, and you touched on something really interesting there is, not just following the trend, right? So it kind of seems like once something is out on the mainstream, once you see it online, it's already too late, right? So I know one thing that y'all offer is education, but how, for someone who's maybe starting out, they're new to crypto, how do you properly educate yourself about even getting started in this sort of endeavor?
I mean, for me, I just think proximity is everything, right? Like when you wanted to learn how to be a real estate agent, you had to go to real estate school. So I'm a big component of education, and I tell people most of the time, like I'm no smarter than anybody else. I just digest a lot of information. So if you want to learn about money, like the first coin that I ever picked that was a really big gainer for us. I was watching Yahoo Finance one morning, right? And they talked about it, and so I went, and of course, because I have some other resources, and I'll give one out today. So if you really want to start to dive into crypto, you need to be on coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com is basically your Google for everything crypto. It tells you everything about the projects. It tells you the team behind it, the market cap. It tells you how many coins. I mean, it tells you everything you want to know. So once I learned how to navigate that, once I hear a project or hear about a project, I was able to go do my research. And because I am technical, and some things, it just makes sense, right? Because if you look at like the coin that my first coin, Theta, I looked at the team behind it. Sony was behind it. Google was their authenticator. It was some well-named brands that I know. And then also, what is the use case? What problem are they solving? So that's why I was able to also look at that and say, oh, okay. And that's how I go about evaluating all the coins that I do. So but the first and foremost is always education, education, education. If you don't know, get with somebody. And like right now, we just became instructors of Your Crypto Academy, where basically people can come in and have a membership just like Costco. You get a 12-month, 36-month, or a lifetime membership, and you have access to certified crypto professionals that'll walk you through every step of the journey. And that's what you need. We all went to school, we all went to college, and some of us, still paying off their debt. But I think this is an education, like just for the $297, like for less than $1 a day, you can learn about $1 trillion market. And I think that's very important.
Yeah, Terrell, it's one of those things where it's about, more so where your priorities are. It's easy to, to want to buy maybe that flashy belt, those pants, that shirt. But, what I like about you is that you're offering a service. It's not only pragmatic and practical, but it is about, development, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I'll be honest with you. This is why I say anybody can do it, because my mom, she retired from 2 jobs and still was considered on a fixed income. My dad retired from Southwestern Bell. So I come from a family of workers. They weren't entrepreneurs that come from workers, and nobody really taught me about money. I had to teach myself about money. So I think I would just encourage everybody, like if you're having the same issue or you going to that job, no, I'm not saying quit your job, but learn how to make your money work for you. And that's the biggest thing about it, because I feel like too many people are building somebody else's dream when you should be building your own. And the only way you can be able to do that is if your money is working for you and you have the freedom to explore your true desires. If you don't have the freedom to do that, then you'll be looking for retirement at 65, and then you'll be on a fixed income, hoping it lasts you for the rest of your life. And I think that's horrible. So I'm, like I say, I want to do whatever I can to help as many people as I can get their financial freedom.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, My first coin he, directed me to buy was Cardano. I invested like $110 into Cardano, right? And so over a period of time, it gained 22%. What was it, per month or something? That was $1,000 that I made in Cardano from investing $110. Right. And I made $1,000. Mm-hmm. So that was a short period of time. So just knowing what coins, like I said, what to invest in and what platforms to use, that's very critical too, because you just don't want to, we don't use Coinbase. We use Binance and crypto.com. So those are some things that people want to know on why to use certain platforms as well to invest in.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, like you just said, I mean, that's really so critical. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to get started, but it's another thing to not only, have a roadmap, but also someone that's there with you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's an expert, and that's what I've learned. I've done enough business in my life and messed up enough. I'll be the one to say it, to know that there's an expert in everything that you want to do. So my job is to cut your time in half and give you the information that you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. That's what I've learned. So get with somebody who knows what they're doing and learn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess kind of off that, one thing I'd like to ask as well is, a lot of our audience, they're in real estate, they're looking to start out, maybe they have some cash, they're looking to invest, or maybe they've been in the game for a few decades and they already have a portfolio built out. A big question is, let's say that I do have a real estate portfolio, regardless of how big it is, but how can crypto fit into that? Is there a rule of thumb in terms of a percentage that you should have in crypto, or what do you think?
I would say, if you I can be all the way to the left with it, but the thing is that when you look at percentage gains, right? So if I have a crypto portfolio, you always want to have passive income, right? With a real estate portfolio, you always want to generate passive income, but those same opportunities exist in the crypto market. So if you do have some equity in your house, I'm not saying sell the house, do all that, but I do think it is if you want to do a 70-30, keep 70% of your real estate portfolio intact, and then maybe take that 30% and play with it in crypto and put it in an asset that will give you 200%, 300%. And then there's some other things that I would like to talk about and teach. Staking is one of them. Like, if you already own the asset, then they'll pay you up to 140% APY on top of your asset that you already own. So those opportunities already exist within crypto. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And I know that can probably be a common question for someone looking to get started and maybe just curious about crypto, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first thing is just take the first step, get you a wallet, contact us, or just go do your own research. But I just would implore everybody, just start to learn about it. Please start to learn about it, because it's going to be here before you know it. And then, you don't want to be too late. I want everybody to enjoy this ride. I want everybody to get a piece of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Will, is there anything that y'all haven't said thus far that you really just like to hit on for us?
Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, like we said, your Crypto Academy, you can come and learn crypto. You can learn what coins to invest in from Terrell. He's an instructor there. You'll get all the information that you need. I have my affiliate link there. You can also follow him at Terrell, the Crypto Consultant. He's Mr. Bilbo's neighborhood, which is awesome. He's going to be teaching kids as well on cryptocurrency. So kids need to get in on this as well. So it's not just for the adults, because the kids are the future and we want them to be prepared as well. So definitely join us in the academy. You're going to learn more about crypto and you're going to be more confident and know what to invest your money in.
Absolutely. And the same thing, I echo what she's saying. Get the education. Your Crypto Academy is amazing opportunity. And then also, you know, just like if you've ever seen a good movie or whatever the case is, and you told somebody about it, but chances are you didn't get paid for telling somebody about it. Well, that's what we allow you to do. You can come in, you can learn, and then you tell people about the platform. You also get paid in cryptocurrency. So it's always better to earn crypto instead of having to dig into your pocket and go buy it. So that's a benefit. Or if you just want to come and learn, come and learn. That's what I would suggest for everybody. So again, thank you for allowing us to share your platform with it. We're really excited about what's happening with cryptocurrency and real estate as well. And it's some other things that's happening in real estate as well that we'll be talking on a little bit further in the future. But exciting time to be alive right now. Really excited.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really the biggest thing that I got from this podcast. You know, it's got me pretty pumped up, exciting time to be alive. You know, so we've, you know, talked with you, Ty and Terrell, a bit about, you know, your background, a bit about real estate, about crypto, kind of, you know, what crypto is and how it can kind of, you know, meld into your strategy with real estate. And y'all have done a great job of explaining it, you know, your education platform, your products, and thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you. Having a
Thank
super
you.
look forward for the next time as well.
Definitely. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.